welcome once again Comrade Risa Ontiveros.
Salamat, Macris. Again, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. I'm very sorry to be so late. I had the wrong information about the time of our opening ceremony. Please forgive me. So, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat, mga kasama at kaibigan. Good morning, comrades and friends, participants in this conference on social security, impacting development in Asia, challenges and options for social democratic politics. Who would have thought, a mere 2 decades ago, that Akbayan Citizens Action Party would have been formed and participate in conferences such as this, when some of our eventual founding members were National Democrats, newly split from the Maoist Communist Party of the Philippines and emerged from the underground, and more of us were Social Democrats, Democratic Socialists, and Independent Socialists, organizing peasants, laborers, and other basic sectors. We were more invested as cadres in the mass movement, in educating and mobilizing the people to uproot the vestiges of the martial law dictatorship, in contestation with elite forces in a formal democracy, rather than in figuring out how government was supposed to efficiently and in a corruption-free manner deliver public goods, such as social security, to the working people. Arne Heiss and Hannah Lear's study, Budget Consolidation and the European Social Model, the Effects of European Austerity Programs on Social Security Systems, published by the Friedrich Ebert Stiftung in March this year, observed that, quote, the relatively close connection between economic development and the level of social security in Europe is continuing to dissolve, close quote. In the Philippines, we have not even had the luxury yet of establishing such a connection in the positive sense. Akbayan and other forces are still struggling to decisively win the debate on sustainable development against the neoliberal globalists and even more conservative and predatory protagonists, let alone to erect the cohesive policy framework of sustainable development and implement the government programs that would make its elements lived experiences for the majority who are poor and vulnerable. Job insecurity, rampant contractualization, and other constraints to organizing in both the private and public sectors, not to mention the corruption and impunity of previous administrations vis-a-vis public funds, have kept social security and other forms of social protection as urban myth for the majority of workers, taxpayers, and supposed constituents of the state. This misses out on the mutual, virtuous cycles of economic development generating resources for social security and higher social security for working people, propelling sustainable development by building the confidence of citizens and providing for them in all circumstances of life. Akbayan is anxious and hopeful to learn from our comrades in Asia, as well as Latin America, about the state of your own economic development and social security connections, and what its regional expression in Asia could be. While we are sad and apprehensive about the dissolution of that connection in Europe, where a couple of our social democratic models are rooted. To paraphrase one of our sayings in Filipino, we haven't even gotten there yet, you're already coming back. Social democratic politics has yet to fully claim and in one sense must reclaim its place in the Philippines. An older social democratic bloc made discreet forays into the bureaucracy 3 decades ago. The oldest social democratic socialist party was recently brazenly co-opted as the ideologue and apologist for the human rights violations of the previous regime. Akbayan straightforwardly presents its track record and platform to the citizenry, proposes alternative economic models that include the ideal of social protection, and nurtures a culture of active citizenship, all flowing from the twin ideological principles of participatory democracy and participatory socialism. From social movement and boycotter of elections to parliamentary party, from opposition party to coalition partner, Akbayan's chosen options have been contextualized by political conjunctures and steered by its internal ideological compass. On the left flank of the ruling Liberal Party, we share the common political values of liberal democracy and civil and political rights in order to normalize and modernize our violent and pre-modern political system. On their left flank, we oppose the liberals on their cherished neoliberal model of globalization because it shortchanges our ideal of social protection and undermines social justice, economic development, gender equality, and ecological sustainability. We engage the current democratic space in order to seek more constituencies for our broader, radical, and strategic reforms. Our option, which is now also our responsibility, is to wed the art of politics to the science of governance, as we strive in our part of Asia and the world to build some steps towards a democratic and socialist future. Thank you very much, kindred spirits and fellow travelers. Marami pong salamat at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Thank you, Risa. Before we close our opening ceremonies and to take our break, may I invite comrades to be in front, all of you, for our official conference photo. Thank you very much and see you after 15 minutes for our first session.